Welcome back, everybody. It has been a while since our last long format upload, and we've tried to put a few shorts out here and there, but we take a break in the summer. We try and take about a month every summer to take a break from all of the YouTube and get our vacation from YouTube so we can continue working on our homestead without having to film everything we do. So I appreciate everybody sticking with our channel through our vacations and our little breaks. It's nice to have a little break from all of our jobs once in a great while. So today we still are technically on vacation. It's about 94 degrees with about 95% humidity. It is blazing hot. I was just inside doing work because I didn't want to come outside and deal with this heat, but I came out to grab some of our fresh veggies. We've got a few things I collected in a matter of 2 minutes here. I have a whole bunch of stuff that we've got to get picked, like our heirlooms and all of those veggies that go to waste fast from pests or just from the sun. So we try and get out here and harvest everything we can, but sometimes it's just too darn hot. And that is the basis of today's video, is when it's too darn hot. I mean, I'm out here glistening in the sun, just absolutely sweating. It's not terrible for you if you do it in small increments. I'm well hydrated. So everybody should take care of themselves before they start to do work, because then you can work better and it's a lot healthier for you. So today we are talking about heat and ground temperatures and using cover on the ground to reduce those temperatures to hold moisture and really benefit your crops when it's blazing hot out here and we don't have rain for weeks at a time. Now, if that sounds interesting, please consider subscribing to the channel. It's pretty much all we do here. Let's jump right into this video. So before we get down onto the ground level, look at our soil and take some temperatures here. Ground cover could be wood chips, could be dried grass, could be mulched up, partially composted grass. We want to stay away from putting too green, too fresh, too hot of grass. No matter what kind of grass, even straw, if you're cutting your own long grass, you want to let it dry out before you're putting it down on your crop. Because the closer it is to your root base, the more likely it is to burn the actual roots and cause some problems and kind of throw your soil out of balance for a small period of time. And we also use straw bales that somebody else has cut and we actually purchase or trade for them. Now, I am lucky enough to have a farmer who does not spray any of his grass. I had an awesome comment from a subscriber, or hopefully he's a subscriber here, but the grass, the straw that farmers are selling are usually covered in pesticides or some type of overspray herbicide. Pesticides are terrible for us. We don't want to be putting that down on our ground. You can really throw the balance of your garden off just by using the wrong kind of cover. So we make sure that we don't use any type of poisoned straw, poisoned grass, no bleached stuff, just straight cut straw. We try and get it with as little seeds as we possibly can. So that was just one main factor to consider. There's all types of options, such as wood chips and grass. We can use fresh cut cuttings or chop and drop like our comfrey we have down here. So there's many options to using ground cover. Some are better than others for specific scenarios, such as using grass in the vegetable garden is going to be a lot more beneficial and a lot less nutrient robbing than using wood chips. We've done this for quite a few years, 8 to 10 years now, that we've been experimenting with a back to Eden method, and mostly our back to Eden forestry has been null and void. Most of it has been pushed back to the perennials and the perennials only. There is a very few select plants like flowers, our zinnia. Some of our annual cut flowers are what we reserve for the wood chip beds. The majority of our vegetable gardens around the entire property here consist of just a good bacterial compost top dressing and a lot of dead material piled down on top, and continually piling that up. We do till every great once in a while. We'll just go through and till everything out, not just for weeds, but just to break some of that ground cover into the soil, add humus, and add food for all of the soil life and the little critters surviving in our soil. So they're also helping us by breaking down those nutrients to more usable nutrients for all of our crops, and they really benefit us. Once we have the whole ecosystem of a garden rolling, it produces a lot for you with very minimal effort. So let's jump down here. You can see the sweat rolling down my head here. So as you can see, just walking up, we've got some nice heirlooms. We've got Lots of little weeds popping up through here. We used like 3 or 4 straw bales that we had, nice clean straw, through the first 3-4 layers. So we've got 2 rows of tomatoes. This is just called tomato forest over here. My wife and I thought we planted them far enough apart, and we just have an absolute jungle. We're harvesting like 40 pounds of tomatoes every couple days here, so it is very interesting to see how they just take over like that. We didn't expect that. These are all seeds we saved ourselves on heirloom, so they all stay true to seed, so we can very easily distinguish between them all. But we have all of these different kinds of weeds popping up here, and when we have all of this ground cover, this is what it's for. That weed just pulls right out of the ground, and we just lay it right on top of the dry straw. We started with a heavy clay packed soil, so tilling that up and adding nutrients to it is very important. Aside from pulling weeds, there is a lot of benefits to having all of this ground cover in here. We're holding an absolute ton of moisture. We just got rain yesterday, a nice heavy storm came through, and as you can see, all of this is dark, nice and wet, and underneath all of our straw here, it is just soaked. It's damp, nice and steamy, but it's also keeping those weeds suppressed. So we're only having a few weeds pop through, as opposed to having, like closer to our greenhouse, we will just have a row of all of these weeds, and then we have to go by, pull them out, lay them down, step on them, and then we're using them for ground cover. But that is a nice green crop, so we don't want to get them too close to the root system. Like when we come in here with our comfrey that we chop and drop here, we will just take this and we'll throw it all around, probably about 1.5 feet away, so we're not actually in the direct root system. So as this comfrey gets rained on, breaks down in the sun, and basically composts with the straw, we will just keep doing this. We'll do rows of comfrey in between. As long as we're not too close to that root system, it is a great ground cover resource. So finally, one of the most beneficial parts of having all of this ground cover down is just simply the temperature. We showed 120 at start. That is just blazing hot. Like I said, it's like 94, 95% humidity, almost 100% humidity out here. It is just wicked. I'm drenched in sweat. I'm gonna go rehydrate here in a minute, but I wanna take some temps from underneath some of our ground cover here. So we're just gonna dig it up firsthand before the sun starts to heat it up. We're showing 84 degrees, 83. That is 10, 11, even 12 degrees below the temperature that it is outside. And that's the ambient temperature with a lot of heat in the air. All of that moisture in the air just makes it so darn hot feeling. It's not that dry heat, it is super wet, soaking wet, sticky heat. So being able to keep this cover down provides a ton of extra income in the summertime, a lot of extra food for us. We're always grabbing our own stuff out here. That's one of the benefits of being a farmer's market gardener. So we're a market gardener. You can see I had to put the fence up. I rolled this fence around our beans. We had an awful time with rabbits this year. I don't know if we're having a lack of predator control. We have lots of hawks out here, so I don't know if it's the hawk situation or if we're just having a lack of coyotes this year. I'm not sure if the hunters took them out or what. So we're definitely seeing an influx of bunny rabbits with a whole lot of damage from them. So we're trying to control them best we can out through all of this permaculture bed, our flower beds, our greenhouse, everywhere. We've got rabbits coming out of everywhere. They're hanging out in our greenhouse and stuff and just eating crops. So trying to deal with those rabbits was really interesting this year because we weren't really prepared for it. Usually we'll see a few, don't have any issues with them, but this year I planted, this is my 3rd round of planting all of my beans on my trellis, and this is the first time we've been successful. They've all just been mowed down up till that point. So that was just a little fun fact there. I don't know, lack of predators equal a lot of herbivores running around. So having that balance is super important, especially out here in the country. There's nothing around us, cornfields and forests. So before this video gets any longer and I get any hotter and sweatier, I'm gonna let everybody go, and I will see you guys next time. Don't forget to hit that like, subscribe, notification bell. We're going to be bringing a bunch of videos leading up into the fall and winter time. That's when we really pump out a lot of our content, is when it's not so darn hot outside, because it gets blazing hot and we're just trying to work without dying out here. So I'd like to thank everybody for watching, and I will catch you guys next time.